Welcome to The Patty Show. My name is Patty Setiatti, and in this podcast, we'll explore the crossing point of the three P's: passion, pleasure, and positivity, and how they can lead you to your own personal paradise. We'll chat with inspiring guests, share practical tips, and dive into stories that will empower you to live your best life. Let's get the Patty Party started. Welcome back to The Patty Show, everybody. Woo! Yeah! Oh my! Wow! Studio audience, very cultured and very full. Thank you, studio audience, for the love. You know, we got upgrades for season 3. We got a new location. Shout out to Capital One. Not sponsored yet, but manifestation is key. Or
What's
something
in your
like
wallet?
That. What's in your wallet? Exactly. Thank you, Capital One, for having us here. One day they're going to fully sponsor us. That's the goal eventually. But we're on episode 21. Crazy to say. 2-1. That's insane. 9 plus 10, 21. That's the episode that we're on right now. If y'all know it, you're not, I don't know what the reference is.
No,
but,
they know it.
They know, everyone knows it. And if you don't know it, you're a little too young for the show.
Yeah.
Episode 21, Passion, Igniting Your Innovative Spirit. That's our episode title today. We're going to, talk about, we're going to explore how passion can help us find our innovative spirit and help us bring some, personal paradise into our life.
Personal paradise.
Personal paradise. A lot of P's. But before we continue, I just want to shout out on episode 20, our previous episode. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate you, girl. Coming all the way from Staten Island, going up to the Upper East Side. Shout out to you. Thanks for sharing your story about being a nurse, transforming, and we've grown a lot. And yeah, girl, I appreciate you. And hopefully we're going to see you soon, very shortly. Shout out arigato to all that stuff. And of course, speaking of shout outs, y'all, I'm not alone. If you can feel the energy, the aura right over here. This is my guest to my left, maybe the right, whatever it is. My guest over here with the amazing beard and man bun. Joining me, he's a musical mastermind, okay? Yoga sensei, you can see with the hair and the beard that I wish I could grow. He taught me and the boys the ways of golfing and whatever the board thing is called, paddle boarding, I believe. Another P one. He always brought the best vibes to me, accepted me like family. Give it up to my brother Barry over here, my man. The legend.
Patty.
The legend. But first, man,
please.
You got to give us a little self-intro, bro. A little bit about your background, social security, passions, and of course, how we met. Not the social security, because Capital One already has that problem. They actually do, though. Capital One, yeah, have that. They do actually. Shout out Capital One.
Shout out Capital One.
Self-intro, my man, please.
Man, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Patty, I'm blown away by everything that you're doing, man. We were talking, just catching up. It's amazing to see somebody pursuing their passion, and we'll get into that.
Yeah. But please, tell me about yourself first, my man, please.
Okay. Well, my name's Barry. I am a family architect, so I work with a family in their home on building healthier relationships and learning boundaries. Boundaries, right?
That's a key right there.
Big talk, right?
That's a big talk. Boundaries right there.
We're all talking about boundaries these days. How to lead a more harmonious, fulfilling, passion-filled life in a healthy way. I also teach yoga, which you mentioned.
Yoga teacher.
And my background is working in behavior with kids who have autism. Now, before all that, I was working in finance. I was working like film and music. So it took like a big turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, quitting my job in 2022 was the biggest pivot. And then going to work with artists took like a big risk with that.
Yeah, definitely.
And through working with artists, I learned that I really enjoyed working with people. And it was those conversations with artists talking about just life, what was going on in their lives. Saw so much of that carried over into their work.
Absolutely.
What they were doing and the connections. And I think that's what really piqued my interest in becoming a counselor. So yeah, that is something.
It all kind of leads into one another. But before, we're going to go back even more back in time, man.
Okay.
Like, born and raised, what's the whole background on
born
that?
And
man?
raised
Walk me through it. Quick life story.
Long Island, New York.
Long Island, shout outs. LI. I don't know what you guys call it over there.
Yeah.
No?
Strong Island.
There we go. That's when the accent came out. Either
Strong Island. Grew up pretty I would say normal childhood, but I went through a lot of like stuff as a kid. But yeah, pretty active kid. Always very active. Me and my
Bro.
sister were always like performing, like Grease, the musical and stuff.
Told you, artists, y'all, right here. We're actually gonna start singing right now. And a 3 and 2 1. I'm kidding. That's for the Patreon. That's for the Patreon. One day we're gonna get Patreon. OnlyFans, maybe. Trying to get more money.
Chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, my mom's an artist. My mom was an art teacher.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out Joe.
Beautiful art, by the way. All that stuff. Like I've seen it. Crib is just amazing. Like it's just inspirational. I don't know how artists can do it, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, mom was an art teacher mom's been teaching for 40 years, but she's an artist, and my dad's a writer. He's a journalist. So
super creative. It makes sense, man.
Yeah, we had a very like creative household. We had a lot of opportunities to express ourselves, and so my sister and I entertained ourselves a lot doing things like that. And yeah, I think growing up I was like a mischievous kid. I got in trouble a lot, class clown. And as I grew up more, I started skateboarding and stuff. And somewhere in high school, I learned that it was like my job to like go to school and make a lot of money in college.
That part.
So that's what I did. At first, I went to college for finance and thinking I was going to make a lot of money. That was like the only goal, really.
Yeah. Dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign. That's it.
But the irony was that like my whole high school experience was very art focused. My school, like everybody was in the plays. Everybody had to do dance class, music,
whatever.
Art. Like I was very engaged in the arts.
And was it like an art school or is it just like a
it was like an art
school?
Yeah, like an art school. It's a Waldorf school, like a Steiner school. So it's very, very much about like practicing hands-on, learning hands-on.
You said what was that word again, bro? Steiner.
It's a Steiner school.
What is that exactly? That's
It's based on this guy Rudolf Steiner, who was
not the reindeer. No? I'm sorry, I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to help y'all.
He's trying to connect the dots.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect the dots. So Rudolf Steiner,
right. Yeah, I mean, long story short, he made a school for factory workers' kids in the city.
What? Okay.
And that's what started in America this movement of schools that taught kids how to like knit and sew and do like very practical things before they were expected to do more like traditional school things like reading, math and stuff.
So more hands-on kind of
learning.
Thing, like even like you guys do like clay and stuff like that, all that
stuff. And the thought was that teaching kindergartners how to bake bread will give them the skills where they can learn anything.
Bro, honestly, I'm glad that you pointed out because I feel that's such a big key thing. And a lot, when I was growing up in the U.S. most of the time, went to Indonesia a little bit, but most of it was like public school education, like the basic stuff, like math. You gotta be good at math, science, all that stuff. We never really did like, I didn't even have a home ec class, bro.
Right.
Like sexual education, I didn't have that either because just how the system was.
Right.
But then when I went to Indonesia, they had more, even though it was like less in another way because like the resources, focusing on little extracurricular stuff like sewing and knitting, it's like super engaging for the brain. It's also practical. Like the amount of times I ripped my pants, man, like too many times. I mean, this guy has all the fashion over it. I don't know if you all, on YouTube, by the way, it's at Patty Show Podcast. Y'all gonna see the whole fit, all black, but it all dripped out over it. Speaking of socials though, how can we find you, by the way?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Dream Stoic. It's Dream, DREAM. STOIC, Dream Stoic.
Namaste. Where does that name come from, by the way? I was so curious. I don't think I've ever asked you about that one.
So our common friend, Lucario.
Yeah, shout out to him. We're going to get him eventually soon. Crazy to say that.
He'll be a great guest. Him and I write in this journal called the Daily Stoic Journal. And it offers a question every day for us to reflect on about how we're approaching life or how we're like looking at what's going on. And, how do we like face adversity and like the challenges we're facing? How do we use it for our lives, And I think that's like kind of the stoic aspect of it. Like, how do you like stay steadfast? And then the dream is more of like, what is it that you're looking to call into your life?
Okay. So finding that balance a little bit, because the stoicism is like kind of just like concrete. This is what it is. Like not kind of, what would you say? Like,
sometimes it lacks a little bit of emotion or feeling.
There we go. Yeah, not wavering between the emotion. I'm an emotional guy, y'all. Shout out to all my single moms. We love you. Oh, I don't know where that came from, but yeah, finding the balance. I don't know. I'm just thinking about that.
You have a devil and an angel in your.
There we go, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think they're both devils. It's just Patty with a capital P and then the lowercase p kind of thing. Pushing P. Shout out to who made that song?
Yeah.
There you go. He knows. He's a music guy. Because you did work for Sony, right? Or
yeah, I worked at Columbia Records, which sounds cooler than it was. It was cool that I could see how much money everybody was making, but I wasn't involved in the process. I was just keeping score. And so, I wanted to work with people. So.
Man, that's awesome. You definitely moved a lot, man. I remember hearing your story, like you just transitioning. I'm glad I have a better understanding of it. But this is my flower section to you. Flower. Thank you. Bro, I mentioned the golfing, right? This is one of the greatest moments of my life, probably, I'd say. Because growing up, bro, never tried golfing. I heard golfing is like one of those sports, like, obviously you got to be more affluent, to be honest, to deal with it. Because, being from the hood.
Right.
I'm from the hood, guys. I don't know.
Shout out Bridgeport.
Shout out Bridgeport. We're going to record an episode over there. Maybe not.
I got a guest for you. I got a great guest for you. He's a tattoo artist.
Oh, yeah? In Bridgeport?
Yeah.
Oh,
name's Mike.
Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Mike. But bro, you took us in, man, taught us about the way of golfing. Even though it was me, Yad, and Lucario. Bro, we were holding on the line the whole entire time, y'all. Like, oh my God, they wanted to kick us out, but they were just too nice for us, man. Man. They were, also, the best part was when we all tried our first, like, swing, bro. I don't know if you remember exactly, but it's in my head. But literally, I think Lucario comes first. Hits it, goes straight left. Yeah. Jan hits his, goes straight right. And then it's my turn. I'm like, all right, I can't do any worse than that.
Right.
I hit it full force. I'm like, where in the world did it go straight into the ground? Like, I didn't even know that was part. And then Jan with his like Windex cleaner laughing. Like, I'm like, bro, come on, man. At least mine, I couldn't even say anything because it was just so bad. Yeah. But that was such a core memory of mine. Like, it was such a fun time, man.
It was, yeah.
In college, we went to Fairfield together. We like crossed paths and like saw each other, said hi, what's up, all that stuff. Yeah. But I don't think we really connected until like that kind of that day. You know what I'm saying? That day, actually, that might have been like the first like connection kind of thing. Because like I said, Fairfield, like we were both also different people too. Honestly, evolving in a great way. But that's what shout out to you. Changed in the best way possible, bro. From like the finance bro. No offense to finance bros. You can finance this podcast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can finance this podcast. You know what I'm saying? But like,
what's in your wallet?
What's in your Capital One? Stop playing. I've been a customer with y'all forever, man. Even though my credit score went down and up, it's back up though.
What's up?
But yeah, bro, because like seeing you go through that like journey of like the passion and like maneuvering through it, like corporate world. And then pivoting, that's another. I love that word pivoting, P, bro, because like you don't have to take like whenever you're in the wall, people think like that's it, that's the end of the road. Right. It might be in the end of the road for one path, but you're gonna pivot. Oh shoot, there's a little opening in the labyrinth. Go to the next one. Right. And then that was you going to the music, but then you realize, oh, this is not for me. I'm gonna pivot yet again, and we're gonna become a what's it called again? Architect for
family architect. Although it wasn't that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of more other stuff because there's
a lot of times what happens is you have to go backwards.
Woo! Say that again, bro. That's my this guy, man. I told you, man, architect, man, this guy.
No, I mean, I think that's what holds people back from, and I think we're going to get into this.
Absolutely,
but I feel like this is a natural segue into what you're talking about. Is like a lot of times people don't want to change what they're doing and where they're at. And there's like a fear that they recognize they might have to go backwards. They might have to start over, and that can be scary. Like that's, you have to ask yourself, what do you want?
That's a scary thing, man. It's like we're recording this on the New Year's vibe, whatever. Happy New Year, by the way, y'all. This is releasing in
2025.
January, 2025. So we're in like, I guess the future technically because it's going to come out in the future.
True.
But I've been reflecting a lot in my past year because like I moved to LA around end of November 2023, 24, something like that. And a lot has changed. I had to take, like you said, those steps back, but I always think about it as like pulling the arrow. If you want to go a little farther, you have to like pull it hard. And I'm gonna be real with you, I pulled it a little too hard. I was telling you about like Diddy, don't play now. I didn't get caught with your stuff in Hollywood now. But yeah, bro, like I was like a dodgeball ref, I told you, and I'm like, bro, college education, I'm doing like to the norm, that's like ridiculous. What am I doing? Like, and then all the crazy stories too. Shout out to them. I love y'all over there. But
what's the name of the league?
WeHo Dodgeball. I'm
Shout
gonna
out
get you.
WeHo.
WeHo. Not saying. But they were like super passionate too, which was cool. But it's like a rec league, so they were like passionate about playing. Like, like, oh my god, ref, you didn't see him get touched. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bro, nah. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't see it. The
That's
balls
a
are just
wild
fine,
experience,
bro. It was crazy, bro. Because I'm like, I'm already college educated, whatever, all that stuff. So I guess there's also the ego thing where like you kind of have to like kill your ego honestly, every day, to be honest with you, because in the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all sitting on this earth doing what we want to do. Oh, some people, finance, bro. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm picking y'all. But like I said, sponsor the podcast. If that is your passion, just to make millions, billions of dollars, that's cool. But I feel like everyone has their own purpose, like you said, with the connection. And like for me personally, like doing this podcast, this is a beautiful thing because this is like putting my reps into, maybe be right around the corner. Tonight show. Stop playing, Jimmy.
Hey,
You're gonna be on the podcast, bro. Nick Cannon too.
What's good, Jimmy?
Nick Cannon. I'm trying to get him on the podcast too. That'll be funny, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro. Just sometimes you just really have to pull it back because when I was in LA too, I was working a restaurant job, bro. I was working like production assistant stuff, like cleaning stuff for celebrities, and like I did nightclub promoting too. Shout out to them. It was a random job. It was fun, but running coach also just little randoms of picking up boxes.
Yeah,
and you think it's not gonna lead you to anything, but it's led me to this moment with the legendary sensei.
You don't know, right? Like you don't know where it's gonna lead you, right? And I think that giving yourself the chance to be in that discomfort and just say yes to it, right? Just to be like, I don't know what's going to happen from this, but I have a feeling, I have a sense. I think that gets into this conversation of passion, which is, we talk about passion, we're like, oh, my passion for this or my passion for that, but it's like, what is my passion for life? If I'm passionate about life, I have like a certain conviction and faith that whatever I'm doing, I'm going to make the best of it, and I'm going to win wherever I'm at. I'm going to win over myself, right? That voice in my head, you're just talking about, you have to kill your ego. Like, yeah, you have to do that 1,000 times, maybe every day. Right?
Yeah, some people it's every day. I mean, I feel like for me, I was talking to you a little bit about it before, but like, I'm just grateful, man. Every day I'm like, I'm blessed. Because like last year, my younger self would not picture that I'm in this position right now. Doing all the different things that I'm passionate about, making money, which is good. Because we need to survive. And then like helping provide for the family, I'm super grateful. But there's like some moments I'm just like, this is like someone pinched me. This is weird. Like I shouldn't be here. Like for example, like with the different offices for Meta, bro. Like I'm not a tech guy at all. Like if anyone ever knows me, they'd be like, this guy works for Meta? I'm like, I don't know either, to be honest with you. I'm so grateful. Like, I literally badge into the thing, bro, and I'm like, well, it works. Like, no one's questioning me. Like, the imposter syndrome kicks in like crazy, but you kind of just have to be like, having that balance of like, you're here for a reason, man. Like, be proud of the progress that you're doing. Also, don't get to the territory where you're like cocky and then like arrogant. But sometimes you need to push it because the mind can play crazy tricks where it's like, it's going to benefit you. Sometimes it can also like hinder your progress, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot that we have to work on is our sense of deserving. Because I think as kids we're fed a lot of like responsibilities that we have to like grow up really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't give ourselves, or we're not given the chance all the time to really explore maybe our passion, but just like how capable we are as people.
Absolutely.
And we always feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or like, whatever the case may be. So we have to, I think in the last couple of weeks for me in particular, just got back in therapy actually.
Oh.
Really, yeah. I'm very excited about the process of really like uncovering the wounds that I have.
Yeah.
And the things that I feel, deeply that are from my childhood, and how that may not be helpful for me moving forward to hold on to certain things.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of like forgetting those things. It's actually like deeply understanding and honoring those parts of yourself.
Ooh, okay. Embracing them a little bit in a way?
Absolutely. Like realizing, embrace. Actually, a friend of mine who's a social worker, he's a Buddhist also. I practice Buddhism.
Oh, practice Buddhism.
Nam-myo renge kyo.
I'm real sure I don't know what that means, but that was dope. I felt the vibrations. I don't know.
It means I devote myself to the mystic law of the Lotus Sutra, which is the law of cause and effect. Anyway.
Bro, I don't know how you memorize that, bro. I can barely. Sometimes I forget my name. You know what? The applications. They're like, yeah, credit card information. So what's your name again? Oh man, what is it again? It's like the SATs, bro. I like bubbling the names.
The acronym is REM. So like REM, like when you dream, like REM, like rapid eye movement.
Bro.
But this is the acronym. It's realize, empathize, manifest.
Realize, empathize,
manifest. And I think it ties perfectly into your theme of passion, because it's like realize, and what I want to talk to you about is passion, but also like, what is your talent? You know, because I might be passionate about baseball, right? But if I know that I'm not making it to the league, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not Dominican, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Big Papa, you know?
I'm not 6'2".
Yeah.
I don't throw 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It would be kind of unrealistic for me to follow that passion.
That's fair, yeah.
Seriously, right? So I got to understand, like, what are my skills and what are my strengths? You know what I mean? Where's my talent lie? And so once I realize what those are, I got to be able to mess around and try a bunch of things to realize what my strengths are, right? So you got to be willing to be the fool. You got to be willing to take a step back and start and be a dodgeball ref, you know, or like whatever. Or like for me, it was like working with kids 4 hours a week. And that was like the only thing I was doing at the beginning of this year. To like where I'm at now is like I'm working 30, 40 hours a week. And I'm being paid well, you know? I didn't know this was realize like, what is my strength? For me, it's like I love working with people. It seems to come naturally for me.
Absolutely.
I feel like I have good connective energy. A professor told me that.
No, it's true, bro. And funny that you mentioned that. Another flower section real quick. You remember that, was it a Greek restaurant or Mediterranean restaurant that we went to?
Remind me.
Bro, it's near your place.
Yeah.
After we did the, what's it called then?
Paddleboarding?
Yeah, I keep forgetting. It's paddleboarding. But there's like that food truck. The guy that.
Oh, the homie.
Yeah, bro. This guy, bro.
Shout out George.
Shout out George. Wait, he's doing good though, bro. Because I just remember it vividly, bro. That was what kind of food was it? Like
it was Greek food. Yeah,
See, I remember.
Yeah.
It's also funny because one of my assignments at work right now talking about Greece, so that's why it kind of came to me.
Okay.
But bro, they loved you. Like this guy, the energy. I was like, damn. Do you know this? Like, how long have you known? You've only known him for like.
It was a couple months.
A couple months that time.
People.
He was like, yeah, let me hook you up, my brother. I'm like, damn. I was like, are you Greek too, bro? I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, the food was good, but you had that connection with them. Like, they lit up seeing you. Like, my brother. And then you're like,
no, it's good people.
Yeah, they're also, shout out to them. I don't know what they're doing. Are they still over there doing the food?
No, they're not doing the food stuff anymore. He like converts vans into campers and stuff. But
okay. Well, shout out to him. Oh yeah, because he's
good
did a lot
people,
of travel.
man.
Good people. It's always
good people.
Cool to find people from all walks of life. But this world is a crazy place. I just remember that vividly. So shout out to you, man.
That was a good memory. Thank you for bringing that up.
Of course, man. It just randomly came out. But like I said, it's just organic.
Man.
Time. Because I realized. See?
Realize.
There you go.
Realize. Yeah. I mean, realize, because organic, right? Like, what is organic to you? You know, like what comes
to you naturally.
Yeah, right.
Just like this natural black tea where they're going to sponsor us. Stop playing. I don't know what the brand is. What is it? Harney and Son? Maybe y'all will sponsor
Harney and Sons, Organic Supreme Black.
Maybe the Patty Show, because we don't even have ads yet.
Be the first partner.
Maybe this first one next to Capital One. What's in your wallet?
So once you realize, right, like whatever that propensity you have is, right? For you, it's like I know you're an entertainer. You've been an entertainer. You know what I mean? And like when you get up in front of people, you make people smile and make people happy, make people laugh. Like we need that infinity. We need Patty everywhere.
Thank you. I appreciate
you. You can't be all the places we need.
I wish, one day. That's why we're trying to go to Mexico.
That's why you're doing what you're doing, though, right?
Absolutely.
So you got to empathize with that. You got to be like, you know what? I got to have empathy for who I am, right? I got to have empathy with the fact that I'm going to probably let some people down because I'm not going to do what they want me to do. You know, I'm not going to follow the path that I'm supposed to follow, you know, because there's a lot of pressure, right? Like, and, you know, it makes sense. I get it. You know, people want the best for us. People operate from good intentions most of the time. But we have to have empathy for that. But chiefly, we have to have empathy for ourselves and what is it that we're actually being sent to do here, you know? And then the third is manifest. So it's like you gotta be doing the thing.
Yeah.
Right? Once you realize, because if you realize and then you don't do the thing, it's like
it's the same thing. It's just a cycle of what's it called? Like I forget, analysis paralysis kind of thing, where you're like literally like, oh, and that was me, bro. Honestly, like with the podcast, I didn't start it until like Jan came that time, which was like I can't remember, a couple months back. Something like that, because I was always nervous and I was always analyzing. I was like, oh, my camera gear has to be perfect. This has to be perfect.
What changed?
I'm a real you. I have to really think about that one. I think honestly, just a little bit of desperation. I think in a way, in a good way.
Yeah.
I was reading this book by I forgot his name, but he talks about how like art or anything that you kind of create out of inspiration instead of desperation, like way more higher quality, you know. But I was at a point where I had more time to be inspired because I had more stable jobs, like the personal training channel, LA Fitness, all that stuff, and then like getting the meta job and everything like that. So I had more time to like okay, now I can put some of my tokens, my energy towards this podcast because even though it's safe, it's still scary because like, bro, even when I was gonna have a podcast with you, I was already nervous too. I always get nervous with everybody, with Jan, even my closest people. I literally had my family there. It's just because I don't know. I think it's the pressure of me wanting to do so good. But during it, I'm like in a flow state. I'm like, I'm having fun right now. I don't care, bro. Yesterday, I had like migraines from too much caffeine. Not from this, of course. Not from the black tea. Not the black tea. Diet Coke, probably. I had like 4 cans, bro, for the work. But the second camera went on, I was talking with Rachel. I was like, wow. My mind is like in a flow state. I feel like inspired, like the innovation, everything just was kind of like turned on.
Once you get going, it's actually it's more about the fear of the thing.
Yeah.
You know, that is like that stops it. But once we actually get into the thing, then we're just
just not too bad, honestly, you know. And that kind of wow, we really went all over, but I love this. It kind of connects to our first talking point, man, about like unleashing that inspiration. I'm like, man, look at told y'all. Poet too. Stop playing. Poetry, right?
All right.
Yeah, he writes, you know. This is the part of the family, the creative family. My first question for this, we've already had a lot of good questions and talking points, but this is usually how the Patty Show goes. We're just sketching up, having a good vibe. How does passion influence our ability to innovate and try new things? You kind of touched upon it a little bit, like trying and experimenting, but how can we expand upon that, my man?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're really tapped into what you're doing, and I feel like only you know what that is, like nobody could tell you what you should be doing. Although I can look at you and tell you like, hey, you're an entertainer, but that's because you already are.
Bro, I mean? So I got goosebumps, bro. I have goosebumps, man. That's
real recognized, right?
Real recognized. That's
right.
It. And so, you're what is it again? The position?
Family architect.
Family architect. Home wrecker.
Count.
I'm kidding. I only that one time. I'm kidding. But sometimes, you know, like we were talking about before, sometimes you have to break down the foundation and build a new one. So shout out to all the home wreckers out there. If you're looking for a home wrecker, my name is at Patty Setziati. My website is pattysetziati.com/homewrecker. I'm kidding.
Get your home wrecked.
Yeah, they get your home wrecked. I've only got
your walls torn. No, but I want to answer your question.
Yeah, please go back.
I think that when you are in alignment with whatever it is, like if you realize and then you empathize and you start manifesting towards that, right? The REM, which is the dream cycle.
There we go.
Once you start doing that, you are in a position to be an innovator because there's only you. In other words, there's nobody else who's Patty. You have a monopoly on Patty. You're the only one who has Patty. So when you align with what it is that you were called to do, you innovate in the world because there has never been Patty before.
Wow.
Right? So the things that you have to share, the insights, the perspectives, the experiences, the way you push forward, right, changes the world, makes a cause in the world that ripples, right? And so that's innovation. I mean, I think.
Man, I know this man is just spitting hot fire over here. Woo! It's getting heat. Oh my goodness. Now I like that you mentioned that too. The whole but that's also what I think helped me a lot too, kind of like overcoming that fear of just doing the podcast. Because even though there's like millions of podcasts out there, bro, and millions of whatever type of content or kind of stuff that you do, there's only gonna be one version of that thing because of you know, the individuality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's only one version of the very process. You know,
And
maybe
you know what happens too once you do that thing? Other people start to recognize it, and then they start gravitating towards you, and then it inspires them to spin off and start living more authentically themselves.
Absolutely.
And so you talk about, you know, what is it, innovation, right? Like inspiration. You set into cycle, into motion. When I talk about a ripple effect, like everybody starts to feed off your energy, and it inspires people to start looking at themselves and say, "Ooh, what could I do? What is it that I want to really do? How can I?"
Yeah, and it's super contagious, and it's honestly like having that group of people, whether it's near or far, because obviously we're long distance relationship, y'all. You know, from coast to coast. I haven't seen you in like a year and some
Too long,
yeah, something like that, bro. But the energy, bro, like every time this guy will comment on something, same thing. We just be commenting each other's stories, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what, you know, like random stuff. It's just like always good vibes, good energy, and like. You remember the time we went to that book signing too? Another one?
Yeah,
bro. See, another one, another flowers.
Wow, you like,
bro. I'm telling you, man. I always remember. That's me, bro. I always have those like little
steel trap
pockets of memory. I remember that, but I don't remember my periodic table. Shout out to my chemistry teacher from high school.
Shouts out. What was her name?
Miss Nodum. She's Nigerian.
Oh, shout out Miss Nodum.
There you go. We love you, girl. Appreciate you. Funny enough, though, she was the mom of Lucario's friend from high school that I met, and I didn't know. It's weird. The world is so crazy, bro.
It's small.
It's super small.
Very connected.
Yeah, but that book signing thing, bro, it was like a children's book for that was your friend or Lucario's friend? I can't remember exactly, but we went to a book signing at what is it called? What's the area? It was
I'm blanking.
It was like it looked like kind of like a mall, remember? Yeah. And then they had something about a children's book about this African American.
Oh,
yeah. What's the name?
Downtown.
Yeah,
Amir.
downtown.
Yo, shout out Amir Diop.
Yeah, bro, that was just it was so cool to see. Like he was doing the thing, bro. Like I love that.
He just dropped a pilot too. Amir Diop. He's a painter, and he just dropped a pilot for a show with his characters.
No way.
I'll send you the link.
Bro, send me the link. Yeah, we'll link it on the pod and everything, man. That's so cool, bro. Because seeing that, like the physical essence of like art and like your embodiment, that's like your soul, bro. Like your child. It's such a beautiful thing. Like I feel that whenever I post a new podcast, I'm like, this is my kid, man.
Yeah.
I don't have kids though. Stop playing though. Not that I know of. Child support too expensive. Please knock on wood.
Nick Cannon, come on the show.
Nick Cannon, for real. No, for real. He's gonna give me advice on that. Shout out to my boy Nick Cannon. We're gonna see you soon, man. Thanks for helping me on that show, bro. That was also one of the blessings. Like I said, this past year has been just full of blessings and inspiration. But it all takes, just takes one step. Sounds cliche, y'all, but sometimes you just gotta go into the water and like in the paddleboard, find out how to float. And
just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming, just like they say in Finding Nemo, right? Finding Nemo.
You got it.
There we go. Shout out to Disney.
What's the next question?
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Disney. Our next talking point. Yeah, exactly. We're always all over the place. But our next talking point, man, turning passion into action. We kind of already touched about this a little bit.
Yeah.
But what are some of the common obstacles that prevent people from turning their passions into actionable projects?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you were just talking about this, right? Like the impossibility of getting started, right? Like and it's the more what'd you call it?
Which one?
Analysis paralysis.
Absolutely.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, the more you think about something, the more you deliberate on it. You got to just make a decision, right?
Sometimes you have to do like Nike, man. Even though we don't fully promote Nike like that, you just got to do it. Honestly, it's like one of the best advice you could probably get. Just like don't think about it too much, even though. Obviously, think about like the skydiving. Don't just jump. Don't just jump.
Make sure you got a parachute.
Exactly, but like I guess figuratively, sometimes you just gotta jump, bro.
Yeah.
And if you fall, cool. It's you're figuratively jumping. Please don't. I don't want people to take it the wrong way because
No.
But you know what I'm saying. But like, you just have to jump, and then you go as you. Because like my first podcast episode, this is me running it back again. We had a different mic setup. The mic wasn't the best. Now I got this one. Now I'm learning little things. Now I didn't know you could book this space. Now I'm learning. And we're gonna book a studio too. Those studios expensive, but it's all about just delving in and just that ego death that we were talking about earlier.
Giving yourself the permission to be bad.
That part, absolutely.
Like act a fool. You know what I mean? If you look at like every hero's journey story, Shrek.
Shout out Shrek.
Shout out Shrek.
Shout out Shrek is love. If you know it, you definitely know it. If you don't, you're too young. That's TikTok. TikTok kids don't know that.
But like Star Wars, whatever the case may be, right? Like the hero of the story always starts out as a fool.
And that's the beauty of the story, right? Because you don't want to watch a story where Iron Man's already Iron Man. I mean, maybe, but like it's boring. Imagine 2 hours of he's already that. You need like conflict. There's storyteller over here. What is it? You said the hero's journey. So what's the whole? I used to remember this.
The arc of the hero's journey.
Yeah, the arc of the hero's journey. Walk me through that again.
Well, the hero usually is lost.
Okay.
And he's like looking for some greater sense of purpose. He's looking to get out of his hometown, or he has to face like the overlord, the empire, whatever it is.
Whatever that obstacle is, right?
Whether it's Lord Farquaad or Darth Vader, it's the same person, right? Yeah. And he usually meets an older Rafiki kind of character, a Yoda, an Obi-Wan,
what was it in Shrek? Was it Donkey? Wait a minute. Oh, they altered it. They
kind of figured it out together.
There we go. Yeah.
They kind of figured it out together. But friendship is a really important part of the hero's journey. The hero needs a friend, someone to believe in him on his journey, and like that's why I say like when you see other people that are doing what they want to be doing, it's like y'all team up together and like connect, because it's like, yeah, we're up against the same stuff, which is like, how do we make this a reality? And I think just the constant like obstacles that come up in the way, like there's always setbacks. It's unfair, it's never fair. And there's a dragon coming after you, and you got to cross the lava, and you got to, but really, you got to confront yourself. That's the biggest thing. It's like the hero has to confront the self, has to confront the fears that are deep inside them. And what does it reflect about them? And once the hero wins over themselves, they then usually defeat whatever the greater enemy is.
Man, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I know we talked about it a little bit, imposter syndrome before. Bro, that's like one of the, I think even for me, that's something where I keep battling that a little bit. How do you personally combat imposter syndrome if you're dealing with it, or you're, like overcame it already, or is it like a constant occurrence, I guess?
Yeah, I wish you could overcome it.
Right.
No, I mean, I think it would be less interesting maybe if you did. Yeah. But like last night, I was feeling it. I was on my way home from work last night. I was like, feeling it, and I think we got to like take a step back, and just see like where we come from. You know what I mean? How far have we come? Like what have we overcome to get into this position? And there's a reason that we're in this position, And so maybe we have to create space for the fact that we're not perfect.
Absolutely.
And we have to honor the fact that like our imperfections are not personal.
Our imperfections are not personal.
And I think we have this tendency to dig back into the old stories of our past, of our childhood, and cling to these ideas of like, I'm bad, I'm not good enough, whatever the case may be, which is like a story that we make very personal.
Oof, yeah.
Though it's really just a reflection of our humanity.
Bro, I'm glad that you mentioned that whole like not feeling worth it. I was going to speak Indonesian to you again. I always forget. He's Indonesian though, as you can tell. But the word that we say a lot is like pantas. Pantas
Yep.
just basically means like not worthy, bro. And that self-talk, man, oof. I think especially with like, I've noticed a lot with like Indonesian culture a lot where it's like you have to meet a certain expectation. And me being the oldest, for example, you kind of have to, the breadwinner, you have to do this. Everything has to be right because you're an example for, obviously my siblings. Shout out to my 5 siblings, a lot of them.
Right.
And it's something I always kind of go back to every time. But like you said, taking that step back, we always talk about like people. It's cool to push forward and then funny being in New York, that hustle culture. Yeah, keep going, keep going. But what ends up happening is when you just keep going, and then like we're talking about the pivoting, you're just going into the wall. You're just hitting the wall, hitting the wall. What are you gonna do? There's nothing. Sometimes you got to be like, okay, let's recalibrate. Let's look. Okay, the wall is right there, but then you see a little crack on the right. All right, now I'm taking a step back. Now we can maneuver and pivot. That's why I love that word pivot, and that's helped me a lot the past year personally, man. Because if I didn't have that mindset and I was just like too stubborn, where I was just, I'm just gonna make it work. I'm just gonna make it work. I'm just gonna become nothing at that point. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Kind of
Facts.
Thing,
Yeah, it's hard to. It's honestly really hard when you're in something and you want it to work out, and all the signs are telling you, hey, this ain't gonna work out. So let's take a break. Let's take a step back and
let's switch gears. That's what exactly.
Let's switch gears. And I mean, one of the greatest decisions I think you can make is taking a step back and letting go of your attachment to whatever you think the outcome is going to be.
And I think also with like this Western society too, bro, it's like whenever you meet someone, it's always like, oh, what do you do? And it's always like the work kind of thing. You know? Thankfully, like during my travels, I've noticed that people usually don't really ask that question as much because literally, bro, you could be in a hostel, for example. You're with someone who could be a CEO. You could be someone that just graduated high school.
Right.
Like in the end of the day, we're not our careers, and so obviously I love being an entertainer, grateful, all that stuff. It's cool. I'm blessed. But in the end of the day, I'm Patty, man. I'm just trying to live my best life. You're just trying to live your best life, bro.
Right.
Like we are what we are. That's it. Like some people will take it too serious. Like, yeah, I'm an accountant, finance bro. Sorry, finance bros. Sorry, accountant.
Taking so many straight.
Sorry, guys. And just because I see them all, bro. Like the offices over there, I see them in the cubicle. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. Maybe y'all have passion, like I said.
We're in Midtown Manhattan.
Yeah, so I see everyone everywhere. But shout out to y'all, sponsor Finance Show, guys.
I have a lot of compassion for y'all.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all love, like because also like numbers wise, man, I'm Asian, but I can't do that, man. The only numbers I know is like if it goes up in my bank account. That's all I'm grateful for.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's literally all that matters. But like honestly, bro, it's kind of crazy thinking about how like people always talk about how man. When I'm hey, so what do you do? I'm like, yeah, I'm just for me. This is actually funny, true story. Every time I'm like traveling around, I'm just like, yeah, so I do OnlyFans. That's like my go-to just to break the ice, bro. Like you don't have to take life too seriously. And then honestly, I'm a real you. I think like 90% of people believe me, which I don't know what that says about me. I'm a pastor's child. I got my cross right here. My mom's like in Bible school. My grandpa's a pastor. My grandpa's uncle's dog's pastor's uncle is a pastor. Like, bro, everybody is a pastor. And like, I'm here like, yeah, I do OnlyFans. I don't. Not that I know. Maybe that's my travels in Bali, But I guess that's the beauty of realizing that we're all just humans, man. And sometimes we need that reminder because of the hustle and bustle and like big major cities where we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like in New York in this area, and I'm in LA too. It's another thing where
America is not the world.
Yeah. Exactly. America is definitely not the world. And that's why we're going to travel. Patty Show is going to be international soon.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide. Patty.
Mr. Worldwide. I'm going to let Pitbull give me that name eventually.
Okay. Yeah.
That'll be so cool. Imagine I could get the copyright of it.
Yeah, you don't want to claim it before
he needs to bestow it upon me because
he needs to knight you.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be. But how would he knight me with like a passport? Right? Different passports. We got a Lebanese passport. We got a. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that'd be actually kind of cool. Shout out to Pitbull. We're gonna get you on the show, bro. How old is he though? By the way, I saw him like. I know he was doing a world
dog
tour.
years.
For real. Yeah. Man, I saw him like he did a world tour like last year or something. Something like that.
Only right.
I mean, he has like bangers after bangers, bro. That Hotel Motel song. We're not gonna sing it because of copyright reasons, but maybe we'll have a karaoke section in the in the
Patreon.
Patreon. That's what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
But man, we're going all over the place. But
yeah, let's rein it in.
Let's rein it in, man. So this third talking point, kind of just to wrap up the whole bow, man. Sustaining momentum. I think this is going to be a really good one because we've been talking about like different strategies and all that stuff. But what different strategies would help us stay motivated, man, and focusing on that, on like long-term projects, man? Because it's not a sprint.
Right.
This is definitely a marathon, man. Any strategies, bro?
Yeah, I think definitely. I wrote in 2023. I wrote a rough draft of a book that'll probably never see the light of day, but I did it. I wrote 185 pages in 3 months, and the only way that I did it was by having a plan, and the plan was to try to write 2,000 words every day for like 90 days.
Bro, write 2,000 words, brother?
Yeah, which is a lot, right?
Bro, I barely read 2,000. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, that's
a lot, bro.
It's a lot. The important part, though, was to have a kind of plan so that I could stray from it. In other words, like create some sort of habit. You know, it ended up being like 1,400 words a day for me. That's what I hit. But at the end, I had like an amount of writing that was what I sought to write. You know what I mean? But if I just looked at it like, okay, I have 90 days and I have to write 185 pages, like that would seem really insurmountable. It'd be like, you know, standing at the base of a mountain.
I like that. Yeah.
So I would say whatever your goal is, break it up into smaller, actionable goals that you can do consistently, you know, and anything that you do consistently, you will get better at. You know?
That's so true. And I'm glad you mentioned the consistency. I think of it also like, I forgot what, you ever watch, no, I said watch, read the book, what is it, Atomic Habits?
Yeah.
So I haven't read it in a while, but there's this one part that always sticks to me. But like making those habits into part of your identity, bro.
Yeah.
Woo! It's such a powerful thing. Like I've been getting back more on the fitness mind stuff, but like now it's part of the identity where like the days I don't work out or aren't consistent, bro, it's like weird.
Yeah.
You know? Because obviously I've had moments in my life, maybe I'll see my Instagram, a little chubby woman, I look like the kid from Up, a little cute, you know, John Cena, but a little chubby. But that wasn't my identity most of my life, to be honest. Like staying active, being fit, and everything because of the food culture in Indonesia and all that stuff, man. I still miss it, to be honest. But I still eat that good stuff. But yeah, bro. Sometimes you just have to make it part of your identity, where it's like it just becomes so seamless. You know, like you doing like all that. Shout out to you doing all that yoga stuff because it's not easy. And you're doing like hot yoga exactly, or naked yoga?
I teach yin yoga, which is like really slow and it's on the ground.
Oh, okay.
And it's really
so it's not naked yoga.
No.
Okay, sorry. No did. I'm just asking for a friend. Not that I've done it before in Sweden.
No.
Anyway, so you just had the grounded stuff. So like handstands too, or like?
No, it's like everything is pretty much like laying on the ground or like in different positions. Like it's a lot of hip openers, a lot of chest openers. It's just like it's isometric stretching basically. So you hold positions for like 1 or 2 minutes at a time.
Wow, bro.
You get really deep into the breath. It gets into your like muscle fascia, which holds a lot of emotion and stuff.
Wow, bro. So what would be like the most advanced move that you usually teach people, for example?
Well, it's really not an advanced class. The thing that people struggle with is like pigeon pose.
Which one's that again? That's
like so when you it's like when you fold your knee in front of you and then like it gets into your hip.
Oh, like this one?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, it's like one. I'm not gonna do it right now, but it's like this, and you like lay on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Like cross
pigeon.
the knee, you know what I mean?
Something like that.
It's painful. You know, you have to like breathe through it,
bro. I might need a little bit of that. My hips are so tight, bro. My hips, my shoulders.
It'll do wonders, and there's a lot of emotion that comes out. It's really
wow.
Highly recommend. The practices, though, integrating them as being a part of your identity, I love that. I get up in the morning every morning. I write in this journal, which is the Stoic Journal. Which
Shout out to the Stoic Journal. Yeah,
talked about. I do that every morning, every night before, when I wake up and before I go to bed, and it gives me a moment to reflect, just about where I'm at. How am I approaching things? Am I being really tough on myself? Am I focusing on the right things?
Yeah, it makes you more present, kind of.
I think so. But just to have just to have my pen like loose, so that if you gave me a piece of paper, I could just like sit down and write something.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It helps me organize my thoughts too. So writing for me is like super important, and then staying active, like you said, is really important for me. And those are like non-negotiables for me. I have to do those things. I also chant, which I showed you guys.
Yeah.
I do that every day before work. If, like you said, if I don't do that, then I feel like
It's weird, right?
yeah,
You
I feel like
what's happening? This is odd.
It's part of my warm up.
So for the chant, for example, right? Because I'm really curious about this. Is there like a chant for like the same passion and give me a lot of money, prosperity?
Yeah, you could chant for anything.
So
yeah, you go.
Okay.
Num yo yo. Chant 3 times. 2 more times. Num yo yo. Last time for the
last
folks.
time. Come on now.
Num yo Thank you.
Thank God. Bro, that was fire, bro.
Yeah,
bro, I don't know what's crazy though. Like at first I was like, how do I? And it just like came out, man. That was wild. I've never really tried that actually. That's so cool, man. And that's part of Buddhism a little bit.
Yeah, that's the Lotus Sutra, which basically all it said was it's the last teaching the Buddha. The Buddha said the universe exists in cause and effect. So there's causes, they create ripples. That's what we were talking about. And everybody has the potential to be the Buddha. Like everybody has Buddhahood in their hearts, in their souls, and as you make causes, you can bring that nature out.
Wow. I love that, man. What brought you to that path, by the way, man? To like,
I dipped out on my boring job in finance one Friday afternoon to go to the skate park, and I met this guy Aki. Shout out Aki. Who was a Buddhist, and he was just skating real good. And he came up to me afterwards, right before I was about to leave, and he told me about Buddhism. And a little bit less than a year later, he got me to start chanting, and the rest is history.
Wow, man, that's awesome. I'm glad that you had that open mind, honestly, to try, because especially because like, you know, from a Western lens, people are like, what is?
Well, exactly. At first, I was like, yeah, this Japanese.
I mean, yeah, because you're from Long Island. Yeah.
Like this guy is Japanese. He practices Buddhism. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to practice Buddhism.
Bro, yeah, you couldn't tell, bro. Honestly, if someone walked in, they're like, "What?" They probably think, not because I'm American. No, you know.
But you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I was just like, that's not for me. But bringing it back to Star Wars, I was always interested in the way of the Force.
Woo! Here we go.
You know, and I wanted to be a Jedi, and so.
Bro, you look like a Jedi. My boy looking like what is it? Qui-Gon Jinn up in here, bro, man. With the hair and everything.
Before he got stabbed.
You know, before we ain't all talk about
that. Using the Force, and I mean that's what the practice is all about. Is like using your own life force, developing your own life force, and using that to move things in your life.
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move that. Maybe that would be, bro. If it started moving, we could leave the compound. That would have been
shook.
I would have been like, oh man, everyone saw that on camera. But then probably like I'd get probed by like the U.S. something. They're crazy. Shout out to the Western world, y'all.
Probed by aliens, maybe.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that's another thing too. These aliens, bro. I don't know.
Shout out New Jersey.
For real. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know you had the connection with the whole Star Wars thing, man.
Man.
So man, that makes sense. My brother loves Star Wars actually. I didn't even realize that a lot of it is like connected. I guess.
Oh, it's all. I mean, it's all about.
The life force. I mean, like even with like Naruto, shout out to all the anime and stuff.
Avatar.
All that life force kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like for me, I'm more like spiritual in that realm. Like raised super Christian, bro. You know, have that background. Still kind of believe in it, but like that life force, that energy, bro. It's such a thing that honestly moves me a lot to do a lot of things. Like bring up that podcast. It's just like. It always would tell me before I started doing the podcast, because I had a podcast before at Fairfield. That was like before COVID and everything. There was like the one side where the devil was like, man, you can't do it again. You can't do this. But then the other side is like, man, just do it. Just like a little nudge.
Yeah.
And that's when, like we were talking about the whole convo, sometimes you just got to lean into that and not even lean into it. You have to go full force.
Right.
You know, we talk about the balance of stepping back, but sometimes that wall is a fake wall. You know, sometimes it's a fake wall. You got to kick it down Bruce Lee style, man. Right. Not this wall, though. This is real because Capital One, we love you. Thank you for having us over here.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? The amount of times we said that's probably like 50. But yeah, bro, because sometimes there's that wall and it's the expectation, especially for like, I think in my field, like of the entertainment stuff, bro, it's such a weird kind of thing, especially being raised like Asian, where my dad wanted to be in the military one time, doing more like traditional work, and obviously it made sense because it's more stable income. Entertainment, I'm real with y'all. Some let's say some months it's up here, but then the other months it's like not consistent. But that's why I have multiple jobs and side hustles.
Awesome.
Keeps me going. But I think I mentioned it to you before, but this fuels me so much. The days I feel like I'm tired, man. I feel like, oh man, the wheels are grinding. It's like the marathon, man. I'm enjoying the process, and that identity thing we were talking about. My promise to myself when I started this was release an episode every week, besides obviously those season breaks, because you gotta make the movie magic, have mid-season breaks, all that stuff. But ever since, man, I've been releasing it back to back. The fact that we're on what 21, bro, it's crazy, bro. Like I can't remember what date exactly it was, but pretty recent, and now we're on 21. It's a wild thing, man. And like I'm just blessed. I'm learning from everybody, absorbing. I'm learning from the architect. What's again? What's the position?
Family architect.
Family architect.
It's all about the
Yogi.
family.
Yeah, all about the family. Yogi, are you trying to start a family? By the way, I forgot to ask about that. You know, because I'm just asking. You still with your girl?
No, I'm single.
Single man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the single life.
I'm really focused on my career right now,
bro.
Yeah.
Me too, brother. Yeah. But if you want the Patty Show dating show coming out soon, let me know. We might have to go to, where are we going? Sweden, maybe? Let's go to South Africa. I want to go everywhere while I'm
single. I see your taste.
Right? Yeah, man. I want to know. I'm never diverse. I haven't been to South America yet. Maybe Brazil, Colombia. We'll see how it is. We'll get sponsored by Capital One.
Argentina. What's in your
Argentina? Oh, is there an office in Argentina, Capital One?
I don't know.
We're going to find out, and we'll see how it is, man. Oh, and I didn't know you're saying, oh, man, this episode would have been even crazier, to be honest. But we're not going to go as wild over there. But, man, you know, we've been having a fun time. Any other kind of recaps and, like, final advice for the audience, man, that you just want to wrap it up in a bow about passion and innovation and all that stuff, bro? Final words?
No, I would just say, thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you again, man. Thank you again.
And I would just tell folks, give yourself some grace. You're doing your best. And give yourself the space to be curious. Don't feel like you have to have it all figured out. Know yourself. Get to know yourself. Invest in getting to know yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Invest in practices that help you get to know yourself better. And surround yourself with folks who are doing that too.
Absolutely.
And you can't go wrong.
Man, I love that. Shout out to you, my brother. I, again, appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, man. Bottom of my heart, double heart. I might have double hearts. I don't even know. Because, man, the fact that you came all the way over here, man, I know my schedule's super tight. I'm sorry about it's everything. Everything's kind of like.
We figured it out.
But yeah, I'm glad we figured it out and we got it popping. But, man, I'm super grateful for you. Where can they find you again on socials and everything, bro?
That is Dream Stoic.
Dream Stoic.
On Instagram. DreamStoic.
And what do we have over there on Instagram? We got some any books or anything or poetry, anything out there?
The only thing that you can catch me slinging right now is yoga classes.
Yeah, shout out, please. Class. Yeah.
I teach at Screaming Pigeon, which is in Glen Cove on Long Island. I teach at 8:15 on Wednesday nights and 10:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings.
Those times are interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Did you pick the times or was it just?
No, that's just what works out.
Okay, that's the hustle. You gotta, hey man, that's like me with the personal trainer. I remember there was one time where I had to take the 5 a.m. client and my next gap all the way at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But that's just part of it, man. It's part of the process. And if you enjoy it, bro, and you have the passion, burnout happens, but it'll be less. I was talking to my friend about it because my schedule is it's crazy, bro. But what helps me honestly is I'm glad with the personal training, making money out of it. But it's also I like to help people because I know how that journey the joy. You know how it is, bro. Like helping people like with the physical part of it. I mean, it's probably even more closer to like that spiritual part with like yoga, for example. But just being more in tune with your body connects to everything, the mind, body, and spirit. Shout out to the Jesuit Values, Fairfield University.
Hearts on fire.
You know, hearts on fire, cura personalis. What else? The men and women and whatever you identify as for others.
Yeah.
It's crazy now. I think about it too. Like all the Jesuit values, even though like I'm not Catholic or anything, I could rock with them. You know, like
like I'll embody them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of cool, but you know, when we were young and bro, you know, finance, bro. I used to be a theater kid, bro. Oh man, in college, man, it was
So you were doing what you were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's coming back full circle.
Yeah,
it's coming back full circle.
Absolutely.
But like I said, man, I'm super grateful for you. Yoga at what's it called again?
Screaming Pigeon. Screaming Pigeon.
That's kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Screaming Pigeon.
Yeah, there's yoga.
If you know, you know.
If there's a screaming pigeon, go that way. No, I'm kidding. Don't go to in New York. There's too many screaming pigeons, to be honest. But one day I gotta take one of those classes, bro. Maybe an online one because timing is kind of tight. But thank you again from the bottom of my heart, man. I appreciate you. You're bringing all the good energy. Follow him.
You too, man.
Do something. Thank you, man. Do all the yoga stuff. And y'all, you know, this is just the beginning of season 3.
A lot of fun.
We're gonna have. I know we were having a blast. It just flew by, bro. The hour just went like that. But we got more stuff coming in season 3. We got the next episode talking about pleasure. You know, you know, we have a lot of pleasure, especially the single boy life. Shout out to the single.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself, yo. That's another little advice. And you know, you're gonna find us at pattyshow.podbean.com, personal website at pattysetiati.com / if you're looking for fitness / fitness. I do online personal training. In person in LA, all that stuff, and then / podcast, and then / I believe entertainment or something for like the whole entertainment sphere and stuff like that. So, man, keep doing your thing, pursue your passion, and we'll do a quick little arigato at the end on 3. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Arigato. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of The Patty Show. I hope you had as much fun as I did exploring the crossing point of the 3 Ps. Passion, pleasure, and positivity. If you want to keep the Patty Party going, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all social platforms at Patty Show Podcast. Share this episode and leave a positive review. PattySetiati.com /podcast, as well as pattyshow.podbean.com have got more of your Patty Show needs. In the meantime, keep passionately pursuing your personal paradise.